Afternoon, everybody. We're going to get started here in about 30 seconds to a minute. We'll give it a couple more seconds for people to join us, and we'll get started with the before market close video today. Welcome, everybody. If you have any ticker requests, make sure to drop them inside the private Slack community, not in the YouTube comments, just so that we have everything in one location. Going to get started here in about 10 seconds or so. All right, going to get started with today's before market close video. Hope everyone's having a great hump day. It's Wednesday, March 30th, and in today's live stream, going to be discussing, for the most part, the importance of SPY just starting daily consolidation. But before we jump into that, we'll take a look at the crypto space. So we are seeing a bit of weakness here on the 15-minute time frame. A lot of our alts are holding up better than Bitcoin. You can see Bitcoin is closer to support at the moment. Just a quick update on XRP. We are bouncing off of that rounded bottom. We do need to bounce quickly here, and I wouldn't want to see us close the weekly candle really underneath 82 cents. That would be worrisome, but at the moment we're still respecting that line. And if we just take a look at Bitcoin here on the daily time frame, we are starting daily consolidation as well. So it had been how many days on Bitcoin? We had gone 8 trading days in a row. Well, I guess 8 days in a row because it's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, unlike the S&P 500. But the S&P 500, we had only 4 days worth of higher low pattern. You can see here we had this daily bull flag that I mentioned that we had a target of 474. We got as high as 462. And that's now the key level to be watching. So 443.71 is now our new daily support. And we do have the EMA 12 there to be watching as well. But don't be surprised if we pull all the way back to about a back test of 450. I even mentioned this last week, if you recall. I said don't be surprised if we pull back. We're probably not going to head straight to 474. We could likely see a move up. We had resistance there and a double top at 458. I said we could approach 458, 460 before we pull back for a higher low and back test, somewhere around that previous top there, around 450. So that's what I likely anticipated, was this move where we confirmed the bull flag, but we have that prior resistance over here, right? And then we would likely top out somewhere around that area and then come back down for a higher low somewhere around that old resistance, which is now new support. And then we see that healthy higher low, and then bulls recharge and they come up, and then we hit that target. That's usually how these moves work. We're getting extended. We were getting close to daily overbought territory. And this is good, cool off RSI levels, but we know that we need to change the hourly trend now to be confident that the daily higher low is set. So we lost the hourly uptrend here with this higher low, higher high, and then we came down, lost that higher low. So we're now in an hourly, we lost the hourly uptrend. And you could say we formed it wasn't really much of a bounce there. It was only about 2 pennies. So I wouldn't consider that enough of a lower high to consider that an hourly downtrend, but we certainly lost the hourly uptrend, lost EMA 12 there as well. And you can see here from the last time we were in an hourly downtrend, once we got into that hourly downtrend, confirmed the hourly uptrend here with a low, high, higher low, and higher high, higher low and higher high, higher low and higher high. You can see that EMA 12 turned into support, and now we lost it. We closed a candle below it. We've yet to test EMA 12 there, but that's sitting there at 456. So going to see if that could be our potential bottom there. We did have a gap there at 455.89, so that's a level to be watching as well. But like I said, daily consolidation now beginning. Bitcoin very correlated to the overall broader market, and Tesla yet to start daily consolidation. But we need to lose the low of 1,073. If we lose that, then daily consolidation begins, and then we can likely anticipate a pullback to around that $1,000 area. So while SPY is back testing 450, we could potentially see a back test of that $1,000 area on Tesla, given the fact that we now have Tesla's been very correlated to Bitcoin in the broader market. Now we have Bitcoin in the broader market starting daily consolidation. Doesn't mean Tesla will, but it just increases the odds. And how many days has Tesla gone now? It's now 11 trading days in a row with a higher low every single candle, with failing to lose the low of the previous daily low. So as you can see, the low of yesterday is 1,073. That's the must-hold level. So you can just keep changing that each day, right? As long as that holds, we move on to the next day. Okay, that low holds today, then we move it up to today's low tomorrow, right? So that's just what we're watching. And again, if we do start daily consolidation, don't be surprised if we pull back for a completely healthy pullback to that $1,000 area and we back test that. Let's just take a look at what we could potentially expect in terms of a bull flag. So essentially on this pullback, if we do see daily consolidation, anything over 980 is a potential daily bull flag. And let's say we do confirm that bull flag. Just take the quick measured move here. Again, getting a little ahead of ourselves because we haven't started daily consolidation yet, but we could potentially see a move up to that 1400 area. Again, wouldn't be surprised if we've seen 1500 on Tesla before we top out on this major everything bubble run that we're on. But really no monthly resistance there until all-time highs. Like I said, it's looking good. We held EMA 12. Look at that on the monthly time frame. Ever since this move began from March 2020 lows, we really haven't lost it. So once we regained it and then we came back, tested it as support, we never closed a monthly candle below EMA 12. And look what happened last month. We dipped below it, but we didn't close. We had a lower wick, but we didn't close below it. We still ended up closing above it. And here we are starting the monthly bounce. So bulls are still in full control on the longer term time frames. In terms of the cannabis sector, so we do have a bearish reversal candle starting here on Tilray. So wouldn't be surprised if we close near the low today. We were down over 3% there at one point. From the high of the day, we were down almost 12%, but on the day, in terms of actually red on the day, really, well, we opened here and we were only down about almost 4.5%. So still not very much of a pullback, but again, we broke to a higher high, and anybody who bought, near the top there of today's move, you're down almost 12%, you're down about 10-12%. But again, this is why we're just waiting. So today, this is not uncommon, right? When everybody knows that there's a bill and potential for legislation to change in the next month, everybody was looking for April to be that month where we see new bills potentially being passing through Congress and voted on. We also usually see individual states start to legalize, or any legalization news usually comes up around the fall elections. So we know that was a bullish catalyst to be looking into as well. But just questioning how much downside MJ is really going to see once the broader market starts to pull back and enter a bear market. And like I said, I think that we're going to see a sell in May and go away type of scenario in the broader market. But that doesn't mean MJ can't outperform. I think it will, but it will likely be held back, or it will likely see some short-term turbulence. At least, if there's quite a bit of fear in the market, if, we see SPY and all of our individual sectors drop, on a massive fear, whether it be, some huge hack of the financial system, maybe the Federal Reserve gets hacked. We know Russia and the US have been preparing for a potential Russia threat. So if that were to happen and we saw, massive crashes, well, obviously MJ would probably crash as well, but likely end up seeing it reverse a lot quicker, in my opinion, if I had to guess. But like I said, when we know we were looking for a potential catalyst into April, and this is what happens when you see everybody was just waiting. Okay, I'll wait for the next daily high or low. We never really got a daily pullback here on Tilray. We did a slight bit here by 1 penny, but generally not considered enough for a higher low. So all the way from the low there, about almost 100%, about 90% off the bottom, without really giving any pullback enough for people to feel comfortable to enter. And look what happened. We had the daily inside bar, multiple daily inside bars that broke bullish into a higher high. Is this a potential bull trap? I think it could potentially be, because this is what we usually see. We see a huge move, 80, 90%. And then, people start to get bullish again after we see 2 days of, they think it's consolidation and a pullback. And they say, yeah, here we are down 12%, right? And, they enter somewhere around that 850 area. And then it goes up to about $9 and they're feeling great about the investment. And then that's where we see daily consolidation and we come back down. So anybody who entered, or even a couple of days ago around that 850, today at $9 thinking, everything's great. But let's just say 850, well, even from where we are now, that's down another 5%. And then if we do go down and test that $7 area again around EMA 12, that's another 18%, right? So this is just the way the game is played, right? When we know everybody's watching for the sector to reverse, this is how they do it. They run it up and then they just drag it on, and they do the same thing to the downside, right? They drag it on to the downside, and then when we see a huge move up, then everybody's looking. I missed the move. Okay, I'm looking for entries, right? You might be one of them, and then they for 3 or 4 days they just leave people questioning, are we going to get that pullback or what, right? And then we break to a higher high. Oh, yes, no pullback. I'm getting a little bit of FOMO, so maybe I'll buy a little bit here now. And then we get that pullback. And then, quite often people start to panic again, and then they see that, oh, that one's down 10%, 15%, and then they sell, thinking we're just going to keep going. And then we potentially bottom out there around, we have that gap in the chart there at 707 as well. But yeah, that's just what I wanted to share. In terms of Tilray, BLNS getting slaughtered after a raise announcement. Oxley down over 10%, so that was another name that I said to watch. We had some supports around that area of 16 and 14 cent area. So again, if you took the scale-in approach here and look at this potential cup and handle, well, I guess we probably pulled back. It's a little bit too much now to consider that a handle. The psychology is there. We pulled back more than the 2% Fibonacci, which means we've now pulled back about 50% retracement. So, but we are seeing that double top action. So clear resistance on Oxley is going to be 19.5 cents. Get over that, and we're likely due for some massive upside. And we rejected right at the weekly uptrend, confirming too. Look, right, low, high, higher, low, higher, high. Huge rejection. But definitely a good time to start scaling in my opinion. PWR and Cron leading the bull list today. Not really much here in terms of USMJ. We are starting weekly consolidation though on MSOS. So we now have the potential for a weekly trend change with a low, high, higher, low. We're just looking for a higher low compared to 1767. If we hold that low from here and break resistance at 2145, that's going to confirm the weekly uptrend. And again, we need to see that across the sector before we're convinced that we have any meaningful bottom and can be convinced that we're going to be entering into a new bull cycle, potentially a year or two in length. CWeb, FLGC, and GRWG leading the bear list today. On the bull list, we had KHRN, FIT, and AYR. And I didn't see an official release of Sundial earnings. They were supposed to come out yesterday after market close, but checking investing.com, it says it was 0 in EPS and 17 million in revenue. I didn't really look into it a whole lot, but didn't see it on their latest news. But they did mention anticipated closing date of the Alcana acquisition. So you can check that out, but I haven't seen anything official. Just refresh that. Yeah, still nothing. So I'm not sure why we didn't see anything official, but huge miss there on revenue. March 29th, so yesterday after market close. Beat came in at 0, slight beat on EPS apparently, but revenue, again, I didn't check any, CEDAR or Edgar, I'm not sure which it actually reports on. I think on, I don't think it's on CEDAR because it's on the NASDAQ, yeah. So take a look at that maybe a little bit later on. But I don't see any ticker requests, so that's pretty much all I have in terms of the market update here before the market close. Just be cautious. Once again, SPY starting daily consolidation. And we had a bull flag confirmed. Let's just see, anything over 455 is a daily bull flag once again. So if we hold 455 on this pullback, that means we could potentially see another daily bull flag confirm. And if we take the measured move from that area, you're looking at about, let's just see where it would take us. Yeah, so pretty much right in line with that 474 from the prior bull flag, but likely around that 476 area. So 475 psychological, and that's going to be a rate, 5 basis points essentially away from all-time highs. So again, we need to start being cautious on SPY today. Actually, tomorrow's the last trading day in the month as well. So tomorrow's going to be extremely important, the close. But we're set up for a potential monthly trend change now. So we had the high of the high of last month at 458.12. We broke that. So now we have the monthly bounce underway. Anything under 479.98, the all-time high, is going to be a monthly lower high. And this could potentially set us up for the first time since 2008 for that monthly lower high, like I've been anticipating using this bus fractal from the .com repeat. So again, if we see this monthly lower high and fail to break the all-time high, that's going to be a huge red flag. And again, we're starting the next month in 2 days from now. So we've got 1 day, 1 hour left of this monthly candle. And if we bounce next month, and then let's say we confirm that daily bull flag somewhere around that 474, 476 area, and then we roll over, and then the key support to be watching will be 410. If we lose 410 from there, it'll be a monthly downtrend. And that'll be the first time since 2008, lower high and lower low. From there, we lost monthly uptrends and whatnot, but we never really confirmed monthly downtrends with a lower high and lower low. We broke the higher low and higher high pattern, but we didn't confirm the lower high and lower low. Now we have the potential for the lower high and lower low. See here, when we went straight into all-time highs and then black swan into COVID dump, we lost the monthly uptrend, but we didn't confirm a lower high and lower low. We just went straight into a new low, lost the monthly uptrend. So what does that tell us? That means that we can likely see an aggressive move back to the upside because we know bears didn't actually confirm a monthly downtrend, and that's exactly what we got. Bears got matched in terms of aggressiveness on the way down, on the way back up, and bulls were just as aggressive as the bears going back down to buy that dip. And from those lows, like I said, up about 120%. So gotta wonder when we're gonna start to pull back. WNDR. Chris K, SNDL reports April 14th or sooner. Yeah, I seen it on. Let me just bring it up here for you. What did I do with that? Yeah, put it in stocks. I usually put it in the stock channel. See here, sundial, it says Tuesday, week of March 28th. So that would have been yesterday after market close. And investing.com says March 29th as well, and then they actually got 0 and then 17 million versus the forecasted 28 million, so they missed by 11 million. That's terrible. If that actually is true, but I didn't actually see it. But again, it's not on their website. I haven't seen an official press release, but we'll take that as being true for now until proven otherwise. But if anybody comes across Sundial official press release, let me know. I do have to wrap things up, but let's take a look. Jelly Bean, I see you want to look at WNDR. WNDR on the Neo. So WonderFi. So from the highs, we were down about 70%. So again, just one of those names where we're in weekly downtrends, and now we're confirming a weekly uptrend. Look, low, high. Not much of a high though off of that bounce. It's basically, see, 151 to 1. Yeah, no, I wouldn't consider that enough of a bounce actually to be considered a weekly bounce. We never really broke the weekly candle, so this is basically all off one move, I would say. So now let's say we come back into next week, pull back down to around the 115 area, and then if we break resistance there at 155, that would confirm a weekly uptrend. But I'm just questioning this because it's all coming off the lows. And watch EMA 12 there on the weekly time frame. We have yet to get above it since we lost it, and that is sitting at, on the weekly time frame, sitting at $1.54. So again, $1.55 going to be extremely important to get over. But it looks like we could be due for a bit more pullback. We are in a daily uptrend though, with the low, high, higher low, and higher high. And we were in a daily downtrend, the lower high and lower low, but it ended up being a daily inverse head and shoulders. And if we take the measured move there, just a rough target, real quick. Takes us up to about $1.67. And we get as high, like I said, we got as high as 155. So came about a little over 6% away. And now we're just back into this daily higher low pattern. So we have the low, high, higher, low, higher, high. Looking for a higher low, so 120 is going to be critical daily support. If we lose that, then we're likely going to see weekly consolidation. We were set up for an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross, but just didn't play out. So we still got a bit of work to do. The 10-week moving average also rejecting there at 146. We got in terms of weekly moving averages, nothing defined. We'll have stuff on the daily though. Yeah, and the 50-day moving average there at 152. So that 150 to 155 area is going to be a brick wall. Wouldn't be surprised if we came back down on the weekly just because of that unconvincing weekly bounce and trend change that we still have really yet to see. I'd like to see us potentially come back down, test the 120 to 115 area, hold this support here at 107, and then break resistance at 155. That's what I'd like to see. See if there's anything else. But like I said, keep an eye on SPY. Oh, they got an extension, did they, Chris? Okay, thanks for letting us know. That's weird that investing.com just populated it full of numbers, random numbers. What do they know that we don't? But yeah, if anybody does see that, thanks for confirming that, Chris, and I'm sure everybody else listening will appreciate that. All right, I don't see any further tickers, so like I said, just be cautious out there. We are nearing a potential top in the market. In my opinion, we have the potential for a monthly downtrend, the first time since 2008. SPY and Bitcoin starting daily consolidation. Wouldn't be surprised if Tesla followed, and that will obviously create a lot of headwinds for each of our individual names and cryptos and stocks, etc. All right, going to end it there. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth for the before market close video. Hope you have a great night, and we'll see you in the chat room in a few minutes.